Hey guys, welcome back to Shark House Entertainment. I'm your host, Brian Gatto, and today I'm here with Tom from Bad for Your Health Entertainment. How's it going, Tom?
Not bad. How are you doing, Brian?
I'm good. I've been on his show multiple times. Always a fun guy to work with, and we've made a short film together, Halloween, The Blood of Thorn, or Blood of Thorn. I don't know if there's a "the" in there.
No, it was just Blood of Thorn, and we also worked on the Chill 2.
Oh yeah, the Chill 2.
Chill 2. I loved doing the Chill 2 with you that day.
Yeah, that was that day and a half, or
Day and a half of filming. Same with Blood of Thorn. You came in for like it was a day. That was a day for you when you came in and did like the quote unquote assistant director stuff. Yeah. The director of photography.
Yeah, we came up with some good shots for that movie too.
Yeah, we did.
So today it's the first episode of Splat Podcast. It's not really a podcast right now. I'm trying to toy with some stuff to make it more like a podcast because I know usually you don't have video in a podcast.
Well, you can. You can have a video and upload it separately. Yeah. I never uploaded it separately to like a Spotify or something like that. I figured I would just keep mine to Facebook and YouTube. But I know what you're saying.
Yeah, I'll probably try to do something like that, but I can't guarantee it right now. Maybe in the future. But for now, we're just going to discuss stuff about our channels, as what the thumbnail says, movie stuff and comic book stuff, which I was never really into comics. Tom's out of comics, but we're still going to try to give some outsider insight and some insider insight on how to get into comics or how to just try to stay out of them, whatever. Depends on your cup of tea, I guess.
And really, that's what it's all about. What is your cup of tea as a reader or a viewer of the films of the television series?
Yeah, exactly. So we'll start off with updates. So for Shark House Entertainment, I'm thinking about continuing it. I was a little bit hesitant in the water for a little bit. I was like, do I continue this or I start from scratch? Do I have to do all this all over again? And I decided I want to because I took like a month off and I felt like I was missing something in my life. You know, like I wrote books, which I was catching up on. I was doing really good. And I can still do that. But I felt like I was missing out on what I love to do, which is YouTube stuff. I thought I wouldn't. That's the funny thing. So with that, I decided to stay on this channel and keep it up. I'm going to try to do a video as much as I can, like maybe once every other day or once a day, depending on how I can do it or how much time I have. And yeah, it's doing pretty well so far. One of my videos, I don't know how, but it has like almost 1,000 views.
Which one?
My name is Pecos. It's a Western movie review. And actually, my Western videos do really good. Like another one has about 900. And then another one has about 177. Well,
I don't want to interrupt your update, but let's be frank. There's not many Western videos out there. I know Tom Betts is killing it with the Spaghetti Western podcast, but like,
yeah,
there's not many Western podcasts out there. I feel like there's an abundance of horror podcasts and comic book podcasts, but there's nothing on Westerns, and there's like a few on film noir. So you might be onto something with the Westerns. I know that's not your favorite genre, but you like it.
Oh, I love the Western stuff, especially the spaghetti Western. But I definitely think that I'm kind of touching an untapped market. There are people who do it, and it is big right now, but there's not enough. You know,
agreed.
People want to ingest this as much as possible. And I'm also trying to get into film noir. I'm actually in the process of editing my review for Witness to Murder, which was a pretty fun movie.
What do you got? Let me see that Blu-ray. Let me get with that. Who made that? Was that Kino?
Yeah, it's part of I have like almost all their box sets for the film noir.
Yeah, Kino kills it with a lot of their releases.
Yeah, this has her name, Barbara Stanwyck.
George
Sanders.
George Sanders, brother of Tom Conway. George Sanders was a great actor. He played the Saint. You know, he played the Falcon, and then he got a lot of the A movies. You know, like Appointment to Berlin and so much film like that. Barbara Stanwyck, she was great. She's a great actress. Did you watch that movie?
What, Witness to Murder? Yeah.
Yeah, totally. That is a pimp movie.
Yeah, it's basically Rear Window, but it came out around the same time.
exactly. It was a weird release date in like 54.
Yeah. And I also watched He Ran All the Way, which is actually a really good film noir movie. I actually like that one a little bit better. That has Shelley Winters in it.
You know, I think it was Steve Haberman who said it, writer and director, film historian. He goes, no one ever said, let's go make film noir. Let's go try to make film noir. People do that today, but back in the day, they didn't say that. They would just use what they had available.
Yeah, basically.
And I love that. That's why I like the older ones better.
Yeah, they did what they could with what they had, and then they're like, let's make a crime mystery or a thriller, but have a little bit of an edge to it, you know?
Yeah.
And so what's the update on your channel for Bad for Your Health? Any
well, like you said, you took a little sabbatical. I took a little sabbatical after I did the review of Cat People with Marilyn Knapp of Alone and James Pascoe. And it was almost the reverse, where you had said you felt like something was missing in your life. I felt like nothing was missing. I felt more rejuvenated, and I had a lot of other things going on. But in regards to Bad for Your Health, I've done a couple of shows on The Seventh Victim, and I'm touching like the old school 1940s movies too, because horror and comic books, I feel like you said, there's just a ton of YouTube reviews, Facebook videos, vlogs, whatever you want to call it. So I tried to go in a different direction and focus more on B mysteries of the 40s, which I know is a niche title, and you gotta, if you want it, you gotta look for it. But it's actually, we're coming up on the 3-year anniversary of Bad for Your Health Entertainment. You came in, Brian, I think like, we knew each other obviously before Bad for Your Health, but like, I think you came in on like the 4th episode. It was like the 4th or 5th episode. And then
yeah, it was pretty early on.
It was very early on. And I think the episode was titled Enter the Horror Show Host or Enter the Horror Shark. I don't know if you were Horror Shark yet, but you know, we're going on 3 years. Next week is the 3-year anniversary show. And we've got episode 150, which I was trying to make it this one and the same. So it'd be like this jumbo, like 150 and an anniversary, but it's going to have a pretty cool lineup. You're in, Tony's coming back, Richie's coming back, and they were the pillars. Richie was there really, I think, at episode 5. And I got a lot of guests coming on for that show. Marvel writer D.G. Chichester, which will segue to your next topic at hand. About comic books. He's coming back. He's the most frequent guest in the history of Bad for Your Health Entertainment. He's going back to Marvel to do a Daredevil miniseries, which, like I said, we'll get to in the next part of the conversation about how to get into comic books. Yeah. DG's in, Marilyn Knapp's in. She and I have a great rapport, good friendship. I love talking to her. Unfortunately, Jason Pitts will not be able to attend, but we got DG Chichester, Marilyn Knapp, Emmy Award-winning Chuck Patton on who won an Emmy for his contributions to the Spawn cartoon, the Spawn animation series from 1997. He's in. Actress, model, stunt woman Kelly Lane's in. A lot of the familiar faces, if you've watched Bad for Your Health, are coming in. And I'm trying to get a new face. You know, remember like those anniversaries where like everyone would come in, but then there'd be like the new person who shows up. I'm working on something new. And I do have a show coming up in mid-September with a very unique guest. I don't want to name drop right now. I'll probably name drop over the course of this episode. But that's all I've got. I've been working on a script for a new short movie. Not really a script, more or less a story.
Yeah.
And it's sort of, I've got like 4 different ideas of what we are going to do. And one of them is a Halloween sequel. One of them has been a film noir detective movie, but I just feel like the way I wrote it was just way too ambitious.
You mean like Michael Myers going to a nuclear reactor facility?
Well, that was just funny. That would have been easy. That was easier to film. That would have been easier to do than what I wrote in the 1950s detective movie. Like I had a scene where the 2 main characters are on the main street, and in order to do that, you need cars and. Yeah, not necessarily the permit. I'd go guerrilla filmmaking.
I was gonna say you can do permits or you can go guerrilla.
I'd go guerrilla, but it was just very ambitious. And no, the whole Michael Myers and the Leatherface surviving the nuclear explosion was one of my favorite things I ever came up with. But yeah, no, I got a show coming up in September, and then there'll be a huge break coming up in late September, going into mid-October because I'm getting married. So I'm not going to be around I'm not going to be around doing a lot of videos So,
except for the wedding, of course, right?
I'm not recording anything of the wedding. Someone actually had suggested I live stream it, and I was just like, nah, I'm not live streaming my wedding. Those who are there will be there, and it's not going to be a big thing, but that's another conversation. But the one thing we're going to do in October, Brian, and I want to run past you, is I'm working on this Halloween 4.
Not a remake or a short film remake?
No. We're going to review Halloween 4, but it's going to be like, it's going to be one of those big reviews, if you know what I mean.
Like in Time Mark guests.
Both.
Okay.
I got an idea. That's all I'm saying. And that's all that's going on at Bad for Your Health. I can say a few more shows committed and a short film coming out, hopefully Q4 2023.
Nice. Yeah, I was going to say, having a live stream of your wedding on a show called Bad for Your Health.
It's not happening.
it wouldn't end well.
It's not happening. I thought about changing the name too of Bad for Your Health. I know I told you that, but I'm just like, you know what? No, people get it. I hope it's a foolish name. I like it. I've stuck with it. It is what it is.
Yeah, at least it's not For Your Health. Like John C. Reilly. I forgot what movie that was in.
Yeah, that was John C. Reilly.
Yeah. So now we'll move on to favorite movie deaths as of recent, or even just favorite movie scenes. I know that you're not really a huge horror guy, but I know you have seen some. So if there are any that you comes to mind,
well, it's not really a horror death. The only one of the few movies I saw in theaters this year was Flash, and I know people have ridiculed that movie to no end on the internet and with its troubled production and things like that. Say what you want about the movie, but I did like how they,
Was there any spoilers in this?
This is going to have to be a spoiler for Flash, if for everyone who did not see it in theaters when it came out to its disappointing box office run. I enjoyed Michael Keaton's death scene.
No, he died. I wasn't expecting that, to be honest, because I knew he was in it because I know he was the original Batman in the '89 movie, right?
Yeah, but if you want to get into spoilers for a second, they were messing with the multiverse. So in this universe, Keaton dies, and then when the universe was reset, Keaton was supposed to return as like the new Batman before Warner Brothers went in the direction they went in. But basically, the point of the story was the last scene Ben Affleck says to Ezra Miller's Flash is he goes, Flash says, maybe we can hang out sometime, and he goes, some other time, not this time. So flash forward later in the movie when Michael Keaton dies, Flash is holding his hand as he's trying to save him. Michael Keaton goes, we can't bring you back, can we? And he goes, not this time, some other time. So it was just mirroring how the Batman was a mentor to the Flash character. I enjoyed that death, but in regards to other movies I've seen where characters died, well, I really can't think of anything off the top of my head. I like... There's a few good horror deaths that stuck with me, and the Darcy DeMars's death in Friday the 13th Part 6, where her head gets shoved in the mirror and you see that one stayed in my head for a while. The toxic waste guy from RoboCop getting hit by the car and his head falling. That's the best. That's one of the best death scenes in history.
Oh yeah, for sure, and especially because it's scarred so many kids.
I know, and I loved it. And, we met. That was Ray Weiss. Now, was that Ray Weiss? No, Ray Weiss was in the scene, but that scene was just.
The guy. I know the actor's name. I know that not Ray Weiss, the guy who got melted. I've seen him in other things.
Ray Weiss was in the scene. He was like, "Get away from me!
Get away from me!
Get away from me!" No, I love that movie. But what do you got for great recent death scenes in films?
So this will also have a spoiler. The film is very recent. Like this year, like in the past month. I'm trying to see. Is that no? Who was that guy who played? Oh, Paul McCrane. What else was he in? I don't know. I'll figure it out after. But the Jericho 1123 is here. How's it going?
Hey.
And so the scene I'm talking about is a very divisive movie, I guess, because people are like, "Oh, this movie sucks," or the people like it's okay. I loved it. The Last Voyage of the Demeter.
I wanted to see that, but I looked at it as that would be a home rental for me, not a box office thing, because quite frankly, Dracula has not sold in recent times.
Oh yeah, Renfield and The Last Voyage of the Demeter came out both this year. Same company. Neither of them did well.
It's just Dracula in modern times is just like not modern times like 2023, right. But I think to sell Dracula now is tough because
it's already been done so many times.
It's been done so many times, and if you go up to any kid, yeah, they're gonna say Bela Lugosi or Gary Oldman.
Mm-hmm.
It's just tough. So many people made that role iconic. But go ahead with the death scene in that film.
Okay, so in the trailer, you can see there's a kid on the boat. This kid's probably like 8, 9, maybe 10, maybe even younger actually. So he has this dog that gets killed, and you get all this emotional reaction out of him. And he's like, he wasn't only my best friend, he was I was supposed to look after him. So you get all this kind of emotional baggage on the kid. So then, do you want me to spoil what happens?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. So they're trying to track Dracula down, who is more bat-like in this movie than he is human.
See, I didn't like that, but I liked how he looked, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I like the idea. You like the look, but you don't like the concept of him just being strictly bat-like, which I didn't.
No, because I would have had a Hungarian guy or a Spanish guy as Dracula. I would have literally had a creepy guy, like it would have been a serial killer on a boat, not literally a Batman on a boat.
Yeah, I think they make it work though, but I also think that because at the end of the movie he's still a bat, like walking amongst people. I'm like, what? Maybe he's just hypnotizing people to make him look like that he's something else or something different than a monster to other people. I don't know.
See, I think it's more terrifying if a human-esque being is the deranged, creepy, immortal creature than this monster.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's in a top hat and a coat, and he's kind of hiding inside, like, you know how they can kind of put your head.
Yeah, they kind of shield him. Yeah,
so that's how he kind of looks at the end. But the scene with the kid, they're trying to track Dracula down. The kid's hiding from the beast, trying to break into one of the cabins. And then they're trying to break down this thick door to get to the kid and stop Dracula. And the kid holds out a cross, but there's nothing there because Dracula's actually above him. Comes down, grabs the kid, and bites him in the neck. You think, oh, that kid's dead. There's no way he's going to survive this. Ooh, let's knock that over. And so then, of course, he doesn't survive. But then they go to give him a burial at sea. And the old captain, who is actually his grandfather, says, I saw him breathing. And he takes off the rag they had on him, or the potato sack, whatever it was. And the kid burns into flames, and they throw him overboard. Like, that took some balls. Not just to kill the kid, but to do something like that. That's intense. I love that. That
is definitely a movie I will watch when it comes out on Prime or was it Warner Brothers? Who did it? Universal?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, isn't Universal trying to knock out Dracula content because Dracula's public domain, but the Lugosi picture might go into public domain or something?
Yeah, I mean, so they've been trying to do this dark universe thing.
The Tom Cruise thing? Yeah.
And Dracula Untold with Luke Evans, I think his name is.
Yeah. Good movie. That was actually all right.
Yeah, they keep trying. No, Tom Cruise was the Mummy, I think.
Yeah, but didn't the Dark Universe have to do with the Mummy, and it was gonna... Oh, yeah. They were trying to do the shared universe thing?
Yeah, they tried it first with Dracula Untold, and then they went full on, like the Universal logo says Dark Universe.
Yeah.
And that failed.
Horribly.
So I don't know if they're trying it again with lower budgeted films, but they did do that with The Invisible Man. It wasn't
which was pretty cool.
Yeah, it wasn't an official Dark Universe film, but people were like, I could start something. They kind of did the same thing with The Last Voyage of the Demeter, where it ends and it could go one way or another. Like it could continue like the Dracula story, or it could do something completely different, which I would actually be kind of interested to see.
See, I read recently that a Spanish television studio is going to sort of sequelize Spanish Dracula. Like they're going to continue the take from the 1931 Spanish version of Dracula that I think is actually better than the Todd Browning movie. I recently watched it and I was like, this is a pretty good movie, and you could build upon that if it was, more contemporary, but
Yeah, and then like Universal's trying. They're definitely trying. Bless their heart.
God
They're like,
bless Universal. I will love how they will never quit.
no, like Renfield was actually pretty good. I thought. It wasn't the best. There were some jokes that didn't land, but I thought Nicolas Cage as Dracula was hilarious. The film was insanely gory too, and there's some kills in there you could use them in Mortal Kombat. That's how bad,
God
gruesome
bless.
they were.
God bless Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, it wasn't even Nicolas Cage who did it. It was Renfield who caused more carnage than Dracula. It's like, did you see who they got to play Renfield?
Who was Renfield? Wasn't it Nicholas
Holt? Yep.
Holt. Yeah, he was Beast in the X-Men. I know he was. I read he's recently up for Superman in the James Gunn reboot. He's a fine actor. He was Beast in the second X-Men trilogy.
He was also R in the zombie movie Warm Bodies.
I never saw that. That was when I started to tune out of zombies, but I'd heard of it, but I never saw that movie.
Yeah, it was all right. And then he was also Jack in Jack the Giant Slayer.
There's some zombie. That's right. Yeah, I remember that movie. There was some zombie anthology that came across my social media feed that was like, get the Blu-ray for $15. It was like Zombie Rage.
Is that the Todd Shot on Video movie?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't even bother clicking on it. I put it like in the look at later because I had a lot of things. I was getting ready for this, and I was like, okay, maybe I'll mention that to you. But yeah, zombies now are just kind of they're there.
I'm actually planning on writing a zombie story that takes place. It's kind of like Zombie from 1979 takes place on an island, mixed with Zombie 4 with like mercenaries and stuff. I'm actually might be writing it with another person as well. I can't.
Zombie 4 was just pretty out there.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to incorporate as much as I can. Both of them took place on an island. They're like the only two that took place on an island, and then I want to kind of follow it up with what would have happened if a zombie was actually given a proper sequel.
Well, I got your ending for you.
What?
The birds are chirping.
Damn, killing birds.
You got to go back to someone's got to give killing birds love soon. Like it may have to be me / us or just me, but someone's got to give killing birds love.
Yeah, they got to give Zombie 4 love too. People just trash that movie. Like
people trash 4 and 5, and I don't think that's fair. I really don't, because like Killing Birds and Zombie 4 are actually they're not bad.
I'd actually rather watch Zombie 4 than Zombie 3, which is arguably a better movie.
I didn't like Zombie 3.
Yeah,
it's kind of how I feel about the Nightmare on Elm Street. I know everyone loves Part 3.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's not my favorite.
I think it's the best when it comes to characters and storyline and even Freddy. But there are elements that I think needed to be improved or expanded upon. There was one, what was it? Something to do with one of the characters in Suicide that wasn't really expanded upon that it was supposed to be. I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. But and you know what? 2 is starting to get its love too about time because everyone hated 2.
Oh yeah.
I still think 6 was the worst, but 2 finally getting.
Yeah, 6 is the worst. 2 is not that bad.
2 is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
3 is okay. 4's 4. 5's 5.
4's MTV.
4's MTV, Freddy, and 5 is sort of
MTV on the way out, Freddy.
Yeah, 80's dying out, Freddy.
Yeah, and then New Nightmare was pretty solid.
New Nightmare was Scream before Scream.
Oh yeah, for sure. It was like testing grounds for Craven.
Well, let's do it with Freddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I looked at the Zombie Rage, and the only thing I can find recently is like from 2023. It looks like shit.
Like I haven't seen a picture or anything like that, so I'll take your word for it. I'll look at it later, but yeah.
Yeah. So on to comics. So do you want me to start or do you want to start with this?
Go ahead. It's your show, man. I'm with you.
All right. So as I said in the intro, I am not really a fan of comics or comic book movies or comic books in general. So people like me often get the question, what's your favorite Marvel movie? Or do you watch Marvel movies, or do you watch DC movies? And like, no. They're like, why not? And I give the same answer that I do about video games. So when it comes to video games, I tell them I just don't have time. I could watch 5 movies or play 1 video game. But with Marvel or comic book stuff, it would take me years to go through everything and then get into the movies. And I never really had a strong interest in it to begin with. So I would just say, again, I don't have time. I so much other stuff between horror, action, Western, noir. I don't really have time to fit in stuff that I'm not really interested in.
Makes sense.
Yeah. But I would rather play video games than watch a Marvel movie, which I don't even have a gaming system. So
no, you're not missing much.
Yeah.
But if you were trying to get into comics, who would you? Okay, pick your character. Who would you want to get into?
Wonder Woman. Just kidding. That's a joke. That's a joke.
Well, I could answer it if you wanted to get into Wonder Woman. You watch the movie, and then if you watch the television show, and then basically you just go to your local comic store or your library, and Marvel does this more often than DC now. Is they start at a number 1 almost every year to try to attract new readers. So they start new volumes. So it's I understand that it's daunting. Like if you went to a comic book store and you said, I'm looking for a good place to start with, like, say, Wonder Woman, DC, they would, you could spend hours thumbing through the books and you'd still be lost by the time you hit 347.
Yeah.
This isn't dating myself, but like we knew people that had to do that. And, you know, when Gunzilla and I got into it and some of my friends, that's how we had to start because there was only maybe 1 or 2 volumes of said character. Now there's like umpteen because they do these countless yearly reboots, and it's not knocking them. I understand their marketing behind it, but that's how you want to, if you want to get into Wonder Woman or Spider-Man, Captain America, Thor, Iron Man, the Avengers, Marvel, like I said, is notorious for it. Batman and Superman and DC are a little tougher because they'll do a reboot, but they'll keep that continuity going for like a few years. So if you went down to a comic store today and said, I'm looking for Batman number 1, they'll show you Batman number 1, but the problem is you're probably going to have to cough up maybe $10-15. And I know that's not breaking the bank, but do you love it that much where you want to do it?
Right. And also, like Jericho said, there's a buttload of horror comics if superheroes are not your thing.
Dude, horror comics are where it's at right now. They're killing it. Yep. There's so many, even the old school horror comic books, you're not going to break the bank because so many of them went under the radar.
I've also got up on the shelf over right there. You can't see it, but it's the Zombie A-Bomb Press graphic novels that Vinegar Syndrome had on sale. I got those. Those are literally the only graphic novel comic-esque book I have. And I'm interested in checking them out because I love Zombie. The movie, not the type of creature.
Well, you know, another book to shamelessly plug for an old friend and it wasn't really a graphic novel, but it had some great illustrations, was Black Honey by our old friend Derek Rook and Steve Van Samson over at Rough House Publishing. Not a graphic novel, but that was a great horror novel that had horror pictures in it.
Yeah, that's something I'd love to do, is just get one of my novels and put pictures in there, but I'm not at that stage or budget right yet.
I hear you. I know what you're saying.
I do think that horror comics, if I were to get into any kind of comics, it would be horror. Or maybe like something action oriented like The Punisher or something. Well,
right now I know The Punisher is kind of in a state of flux. I don't know the entire details, but I know like Marvel may be introducing a new one. A friend told me that someone else is becoming the Punisher. And I said, that's cool, not my thing. I was never super into the Punisher. But horror, there's so many great... Marvel doesn't really dabble in horror that much. They have horror characters like the Midnight Suns and, you know, Werewolf by Night. But
is Venom DC or is that Marvel?
Venom is Marvel.
Okay, yeah.
Venom's weird. Like, he's not how he is in the movies. He's not like goofy in that sort of budding romance between... Not the buddy...
Romance.
Yeah, in a way, the bromance between Venom and the symbiote. It's just sort of, it's different.
That was weird. Ghost pulling my hair. No, not really.
Ghost Rider, you said Ghost Rider kind of had a little horror in it, but if you want like straight horror, Walking Dead or Vampire State Building was more my cup of tea. That was a great
Vampire
miniseries.
State Building.
Vampire State Building. A family was trapped on like the Empire State Building, and everyone turned into a vampire.
That's cool.
And they had to escape.
Good luck.
Fun, mindless entertainment. I love it.
There's another series I want to get into. It's I have the novels, but I don't have the graphic novels. 30 Days of Night.
Oh, Steve Niles. Yeah, the movie was all right, but the books were really good.
Yeah, I have. That's the first one. There's 6.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is the first book in the series or if this is just based off the movie itself and then they continue some other way.
I don't know. I haven't read 30 Days of Night in forever, but I just remember, Steve Niles killed it with that. Yeah,
I have all 6, but as to which one begins the story, I couldn't answer right now. I remember they made like an internet series when they used to do those for 30 Days of Night. That was pretty cool. I thought that was a nice touch. And then they made the dreaded sequel, which was not a nice touch.
Never saw it.
Pretty bad.
Never saw it.
Yeah. Horror comic suggestions from the Jericho is Bunny Mask, Cross, and Ice Cream Man.
Dunn reads Ice Cream Man. He keeps trying to talk me into it. I knew it was only supposed to be like 4 issues or whatnot, but it ended up becoming a monthly series. And I know Ice Cream Man is extremely popular.
Yeah, here's a good question. If you were to suggest, like if someone asks you how to read a comic compared to a novel, like how would you ingest it? How would you answer that?
Well, I'd show them, like I would like bust out a comic book and I'd be like, this is how you sort of read it in an order. Like, it's not like manga where you read it horizontally and the opposite way. You read it like a novel, left to right. And you almost have to
stop reading and look at the pictures. And then
in a way, you got to read the words and then look at the pictures, and it's almost like the movie in storyboards in a way, because that's how the movies made all their money, was because they're all storyboarded essentially already. That's a really good question, but you definitely read the words and the pictures and kind of go in order.
Yeah, because when I was sorry, what?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, when I was younger, the reason I didn't get into comics is because I don't know how to read this. How am I supposed to? Do I start here, or do I start at the end and go to the beginning? I was all confused.
It's like a self-learning in a weird way.
Yeah, and then I would read it and then not look at the pictures. Then I go back and look at the pictures and not read it. It was really weird.
There were some books though that like have like umpteen panels in it, and even I'm, still if I looked at it, I would be like, whoa, okay, hold on. You almost have to like get your bearings straight, like. Mm-hmm. Into the detail of the scene at hand.
Yeah, I had read one, Sherlock Holmes, The Hounds of the Baskerville, in a graphic novel or comic book form. It was pretty interesting. It was really little when I read it. I was probably 8 or 9.
Well, that's still a cool book.
Yeah, I haven't read it since then, so I don't remember a single thing about it, but...
Good movie, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would depend on the character, too, in a weird way, but you definitely you got to read and on the fly, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Oh, I did want to give a shout out to someone. I don't know if they're watching right now, but they have been on and off watching, as well as reading my books, Limbs 1 and 2. Let me see if I can find it. I think his name is Tom Brandy. Let me see. Because he messaged me about maybe a month ago, saying he was reading. I don't want Shark Cast Entertainment. I want Horror Shark. Oh yeah, Tom Byron. My bad. He had said that he had read Limbs 1 and loved it. Then he finished Limbs 2, and what did he say? Where is it? He said, "You can do more with 138 pages than Michael Crichton can do with a 400-page book." I was like, okay, I can take that.
Well, that's a hell of a compliment.
Right? But definitely wanted to give him a shout out because I don't get as many messages about my books as I would like. But
isn't it weird? Like you've been doing this, you've been in this game a long time, hell of a lot longer than I have. Isn't it weird what you think is going to be popular isn't, and something you almost consider throwaway catches on?
Yeah, that happened with me in Croc Attack. I thought that book wasn't as good as it could have been, but I released it anyway, and it took off. I was like, oh, great.
It's weird. It's absolutely weird. The content you give to the world, what the world takes, and what you think is going to catch fire doesn't catch anything.
Yeah, and it's weird because people are usually like, oh, the ratings will hurt or make your book sell. Meanwhile, Croc Attack has like a 3.5 out of 5, and it went up to 195 ratings / reviews. I'm like, so do the ratings matter? Or it's just the cover? I don't understand.
But did you sell all those? Did it sell over 195 books?
No, books and ebooks. So
I gotcha.
Ebook. Yeah,
no, I
didn't sell that many. That's how many people read it and reviewed it. There's a separate amount between that and people who've read it. And
ebooks and physical media.
That and people who have bought it, read it, but didn't review it, and people who bought it, read it, and reviewed it you have to combine both of them.
And you're probably going to you're also going to have the haters out there too.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There's people who are like, there's too much talking. I'm like, do you want to care about the characters or do you want them to just get killed? I don't understand.
Characters will always sell.
Yeah, characters apparently don't sell in creature features, though.
That is a misconception. I feel like that will change in time. That's everyone loves a good creature feature, but if you don't care about the main character, there's no point in even getting invested in the story unless you really just want to see gore and shenanigans, if you will.
Exactly. And the thing is that people are like, they're so desensitized to how much they can see for Carnage on film that they don't really care about the character, like let's say in a movie, unless it's just a name actor. Like Jason Statham in the Meg movies, it's like they don't really care about the characters besides Jason Statham. They just want to see the shark carnage. But then you get the weird international angle of it where the Chinese market is pushing the Chinese actor in the film. And of course, that's selling the movie as well. So you kind of have to take what you can get with stuff like that. Like you can only have one or the other when it comes to characters in Carnage.
Well, the sci-fi direct-to-video, the Sci-Fi Channel shark movies or the direct-to-video shark movies probably had more character than the Meg 2. I didn't see the Meg 2. It was
a lot better than I thought it would be. But I think Sci-Fi did a lot better job than what they're releasing now, for sure.
Yeah.
Like not the Asylum stuff, but like the Wild Eye releasing stuff. Like
Asylum is its own thing. Asylum will always be its ripoffs.
Yeah, they're making another Megalodon movie, and I guess where it takes place yet again on a battleship.
Space?
No, on a battleship again.
Jeez.
Third time on a battleship. Like, just have it attack a coastline and have people try to sail around trying to stop it.
Yeah.
Not on a battleship. But it looks like they're changing it up a little bit with an oil rig and the shore, but there's still a damn battleship. It didn't work the first 2 times. Well, it did, but it took a whole movie.
Is this a Sci-Fi Channel movie?
Oh, no, Asylum.
Oh, yeah.
It's called Megalodon the Frenzy.
I tuned out of Asylum after I Am Omega.
That was a long time ago.
I know. That's how long I've been out of the Asylum days. I sometimes see their ripoffs on, like, not their ripoffs, their features on some review, and I just like, oh, they're,
Yeah. People get so angry about that. I'm like, I don't understand why you're angry. They're making money off of stuff that they're doing an idea that's original. Just the title is something, or the basic concept is the same. It's essentially a ripoff, but you'll praise Roger Corman for doing it, but then the Asylum does it.
I applaud Asylum for what they do. It's creative, and no one else can really do that. It's just not my thing.
Oh, no, I know. But there's also the people that get so mad. They're like, how could they do this? This is an insult to the film industry. I'm like, really?
No, honestly, in a weird way, that helps drive it, too.
Oh, yeah, no. Without the Asylum, Sci-Fi would stop making creature features probably a long time ago. If it wasn't for Mega Shark and Sharknado, it wouldn't have kept going.
Sharknado saved Sci-Fi from having to fall back into the reality TV or
Oh, now it's reality TV and stuff because they
Is
stopped
it?
making. Yeah, they don't make creature features anymore.
I got rid of basic cable a while ago, and that was one channel I was hoping to see if they continued doing carrying the torch. Sci-fi changed.
You know, the only ones that are making decent creature features right now are, shark movies at least are beyond the theatrical realm or big budget realm, are Asylum and sometimes Tubi. Other than that,
God bless Tubi.
God bless Tubi.
God bless Tubi.
Yeah, the effects. If you watch an Asylum film now, like in the past 2 years, the effects are not that bad actually compared to what they used to be. I was pretty surprised.
You know what movie I watched on Tubi within the last year was like Titanic 3, I think it was. It was
Titanic 666.
Titanic 666.
I didn't see
I
it
thought
yet,
that movie was so fun. I really did.
That was an Asylum film.
Was it really?
It was.
All right, then I lied. I watched Titanic 666. I thought that was a Tubi like original.
No, so the Asylum makes films for their streaming service, and they make films for Tubi.
Well, then I lied, and I stand corrected. I Am Omega was not the last one I watched. It was Titanic 666. I did not know that was Asylum.
Yeah, you probably have seen more of them. You just didn't see the Asylum logo at the beginning because it's now officially a Tubi original made by the Asylum.
All right.
So basically, Tubi is now the new sci-fi.
Cool.
Yeah.
I love that. The more movies that are out there, the better it is for each consumer and the person that wants to watch it. But, that's the thing about today. Today, way more than it was 30 years ago.
Yeah, my biggest problem with... Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
My biggest problem with the Asylum right now is they barely release their films on physical format. It's all streaming.
Physical media will never die.
It won't, but big studios that are making low-budget films don't see that because they're not seeing the profit right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
They want to see it now, and they'll get the share of the click from your Amazon purchase or your whatever.
And when they are released on DVD, they charge like $20.
I would never charge $20 for an original movie.
$15-$20. I'm like, I'll wait a couple months and it'll be down to $10.
Yep. That was the trick. You always had to wait a couple of months, and then it was in the $10 section or the $5 bin. Yeah,
right. Like you go buy a Asylum movie from Amazon. If you buy it within the first month, it'll come with a slipcover. Like, I love slipcovers, but I'm not going to spend $20 on an Asylum film just to get the movie in the slipcover.
Nope.
It's Vinegar Syndrome. That's a different.
Next movie, if we make an original movie, Brian, and we put it on DVD or Blu-ray, I already know what the asking price is going to be.
What, $6.66? $1?
$1, man. That's it.
No, $1 plus $4 for shipping.
No right? Shipping. No shipping.
Or we're just going to keep it to ourselves like this is our dark little secret.
Yep, exactly. This is our thing.
Yeah. That'd be cool. I don't know how to burn movies on disc, but I probably could figure it out.
Oh, I haven't done that.
I don't think anyone's really done that in a long time.
I think the last thing I ever burned on a disc was like one of our high school movies, and that was like in 2012 when I found the DVD burner.
Falls already in the $5 bin. Isn't that movie where they're on top of the skyscraper? Not skyscraper, like the tower.
No, okay. Yeah. That was I saw that. I didn't see the movie. I saw the ad for it.
Yeah,
they're climbing like the control tower. I have a friend that did that for a living, and yeah, he didn't want to see that. I don't think he wanted to see that movie.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
That's crazy, doing that for a living. Oh, Jerko.
God bless him, though. He's a good guy.
Yeah,
they're making a second one, I think. I think they're making a part 2.
Rise? Is it the sequel's name is Rise?
I don't know, but you know what movie was the big box office surprise of 2023 was The Sound of Freedom, the Jim Caviezel starring movie. I don't want to. I never saw it. I plan on watching it. It's not something I wanted to run out and see because if I'm going to go see a movie in theater, I just know that it's something I want to invest time, money, and effort. Exactly. The last movie I saw in theaters was Dead Reckoning Part 1, Mission Impossible, and it was your classic Tom Cruise movie. I had no hate towards it, but I didn't necessarily love it.
Yeah, I think I saw parts of Sound of Freedom in theaters, but then I had an emergency, so I had to leave. Not myself. I had to. A friend of mine had an emergency, so we had to leave. But it was pretty good from what I saw so far.
Yeah. I always liked Caviezel from Person of Interest. I know he was Jesus in Mel Gibson's Passion of the Christ. But, the thing with with Mission Impossible was this was not going to be a Top Gun movie. This was not going to have the emotional resonance that Top Gun had with so many people. It was just going to be your run-of-the-mill Tom Cruise kicking people's butts and running and cars. And I paid to see it. I paid what I got. I paid for what I saw. I had no complaints with it.
Yeah, aren't people complaining about it? Like it's not as good as Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah, that was the thing. People were expecting Top Gun Maverick, but for Mission Impossible, there was no Mission Impossible was never that like.
Yeah, but like Mission Impossible, a couple of movies ago made like $1 billion. So people forget about that one.
Mission Impossible 6 made almost $1 billion, and it was Tom Cruise's. That was like another resurgence of Tom Cruise. But 7, the only way he could go from Top Gun was down. And that's the solid truth.
Oh yeah, people have the attention span of a fly sometimes.
It's a shame though. It's going to be a box office bomb similar to Indiana Jones and The Flash, the 3 movies that everyone thought were going to do great this summer. And they thought it was going to be Indiana Jones, The Flash, and Mission Impossible. When it turned out to be Oppenheimer and Barbie.
You're not wrong.
No, I'm not, and I didn't see Oppenheimer or Barbie. Not on my radar.
I call it Margot Barbie.
I know a lot of people were doing the double feature route, and I was like, God bless you. You're going to see the movie. I don't know what the next movie I'll see in the theaters is.
Dude, if I did that, like did a double feature with those, I'd probably get whiplash. I'd be like, what the
Was The Last Voyage? Was that the last movie you saw in theaters?
Yeah. And then I saw the Meg 2 before that, and I think another movie before that. I don't know.
I think the next movie, I don't know. When's Salem's Lot coming out? I know the remake of Salem's Lot with Lewis Pullman got kind of lost in the shuffle when Warner Brothers has been restructuring.
Yeah, no, it's definitely got a pending release date now. It was coming out next month, but they pushed it.
Warner Brothers, they've lost their minds, I think, with some things, but, Flash bombed. Blue Beetle, I know it was #1 this week.
That'll change.
Yeah.
Quickly.
What's that?
I said that'll probably change quickly.
Well, it only did 25 million. I didn't see the exact number, but you'd figure that movie will then probably drop to 11 or 10 at most. I'm being nice with that number, I think.
Yeah, I think the next horror movie to do good. It won't be it might be Five Nights at Freddy's, maybe, but it's going to be PG-13, and the game is rated to M, so I don't get.
Yeah, what about The Exorcist?
I've heard a lot of bad things.
I get it. I totally get the David Gordon Green hate after Halloween Kills.
No. I'm not talking about that kind of. Yeah, I don't think it's going to do bad because of it being attached with David Gordon Green. I think it's going to do bad because the test screenings and all the reviews prior to its release have been dreaded.
Well, isn't this a proposed sequel? Not sequel. It's a sequel to the original, but aren't they making a trilogy out of this?
I think they condensed it down to 2 movies. It's Exorcist Believer and then Exorcist Deceiver.
I don't know. Exorcist died for me after Exorcist 3.
Yeah, that's the last good one.
That movie is so underrated.
Yeah.
That movie is one of the most underrated movie you'll ever see.
They made a TV show, and I heard it was pretty good, too. On Fox.
Do you remember back in the day when they had the 2 Exorcist movies that came out? You had Dominion, prequel of The Exorcist, and then you had Exorcist the Beginning. One of them was a Rennie Harlan movie, and then the other one was a Paul Schrader movie. Both with Stellan Skarsgård. I don't even know which one I saw. They were almost one and the same, just different directors.
Wasn't the better one Dominion, but they released it out in theaters, in a few theaters, and then
both got theatrical releases. I just don't know which one's which because it's been almost 20 years since I've seen them.
I know The Exorcist, the beginning, got more theatrical exposure, but I know that Dominion didn't get as much. But I heard Dominion was better, so I don't know.
I don't know. I like Paul Schrader and I like Rennie Harlan, so one of these days I'll probably give it a chance, but. Yeah, dude, I don't know. Exorcist will get a little extra hype, perhaps, because of the death of William Friedkin.
Yeah.
who I loved William Friedkin, from Exorcist to The French Connection to Live and Die in L.A. to, he was just a great director.
Yeah, I think the big horror movie surprise of this year will be The Nun 2.
Yeah, I kind of want to see that.
Yeah, it looks pretty good, actually.
Wasn't there some legal mumbo jumbo about The Nun?
I don't think so. Not that I
Like
heard.
One of the actors got pissed at something.
I don't know. I do know that my favorite movie of this year so far is probably John Wick 4.
Well, isn't there like a bunch of spinoffs coming off with John Wick?
Yeah, there's the Continental, a TV show. I
Yeah.
think that's it.
Isn't there something with Mel Gibson coming out?
Yes, it's the Continental TV
That's the
show.
Continental? All right. Yeah.
And it looks pretty good.
It looked all right. I saw a couple of screenshots, but I hope Expendables 4 does okay.
Did you hear? It's rated R.
Is it really?
Yeah, I love the TV spot they have playing for it now. The Expendables 4, definitely rated R. It's like, oh my gosh.
I know Stallone isn't, I know he's Barney's, the character isn't as featured as he is in the previous trilogy, because Stallone's got other things going on, like Tulsa King, which actually was a pretty good show.
I haven't seen
it. Statham's probably going to be like the lead, and I love Andy Garcia. He's going to be in it.
Yeah, and also, what's the guy? I forgot the actor's name, but he played Rama in the Raid movies, which.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of the new generations coming in.
Yeah, but did you see those movies, The Raid?
No, never saw them. Wanted to though.
You have to see those movies. They're the best action movies I've seen probably in 10, 15 years. And they're like 10, 15 years old.
All right. I put them on my list.
Yeah. The first one, it's a basic story, but excellent fighting choreography. It makes John Wick look like a kiddie park. A bully fight. And then the second one's like 2 hours long, 2.5, but it flies right by. It's an amazing movie.
Nice. I'll check them out.
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna have to raid your house. I'm just gonna...
Hey, you going to the that horror convention in Danvers next week?
Which one?
It's like Silver Screen something.
Didn't even know about it.
I'll send you a link. I just know that Don Shanks is going to be there. Dick Warlock, Tom Atkins.
Dick Warlock, the best name in the industry.
Dick Warlock, man, one of the best Michael Myers. But Don Shanks is going to be there, so it's like there's some cool people going to be there. I'm not going to Terracon in September, the one in Framingham. But I figured I'd run that by you if you were going to that.
What's it called? Silver Screen?
Yeah, I don't know the exact name. I think it's like Silver Screen Horror Convention in Danvers, Massachusetts.
Oh, I see. Silver Screen Con.
Silver Screen Con.
It's got Skeet Ulrich, Tony Todd.
Yeah, Tony Todd, Chris Jericho.
Tom Savini. CJ Graham, Tom Atkins. That's awesome.
I love Tom Atkins.
Wow.
Halloween 3.
Terry Kaiser.
Yeah.
Alex Vincent. That is a good lineup.
That's a halfway decent lineup for a horror convention. Yeah, I might go to there. I might go to that on like. I'm gonna look at my schedule coming up this weekend, see what happens.
So I don't want to get into any controversy, but how are these people considered horror royalty? Dead Meat, James and Chelsea Rebecca, like they're YouTubers.
Hey, you get attention, you get name anywhere you can get it.
Yeah, I guess. Posers.
I don't know them. That's the thing.
Yeah, no, I know. I know of them, and I know that they're not original. That's about as far as I go. But let's see. When are the dates?
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Of next week?
This upcoming weekend.
If you want to go, you could probably go.
I'd have to look at how the weekend plays out.
Yeah. I'm free the 27th. I don't think I'll be free Friday or Saturday, though.
I'll be in touch during the week.
Alrighty. Come see our booth.
Dude, you were going to set up a booth at a show.
Yeah, Rock and Shock.
Rock and Shock.
Yeah, then they ended up shutting it down for good. No more Rock and Shock.
They never gave a good reason.
No.
No reason was ever given. I've inquired with certain people, but I've heard stories, but nothing I could say was definite.
I will say I do have an author signing in September.
Where at?
Annie's Bookstop in Worcester.
I know Annie's. Annie's is cool.
Yeah, I'll be there signing books.
What dates?
I think it's September 10th. I'm not sure if I'll be there or if they'll have me set up somewhere else. I'll have to inquire about that. But I do know that it's in September, and I also have a interview on August 29th, I believe.
Next Tuesday?
Yeah.
With who?
Asking me names.
I
said, you asking me names? I can't remember names for the life of me.
Is it a website, a newspaper, or?
I think it's on their website.
Nice.
Yeah. I just typed in my wrong email. Thank you. There we go. Let's see. I'll try to get the deets.
How much are you going to charge someone for your autograph?
Well, the book sells for $10, and I'll probably charge like
free.
With the book included, probably like $12.
Go free.
So, go free.
Go free.
Fly away. Oh, come on! I hate this setup. I just accepted everything. Nice. I'm nice. A master of the internet. Yeah, I was planning on having a couple of videos, including one for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because on August 18th, it was 50 years when the event took place, the supposed true event.
And the release of the video game.
Mm-hmm. And
which I didn't play.
Yeah. But computer problems. I had to switch computers. So it's the Zoom meeting is on August 30th, which I'm not sure if that's a live thing or if it's just a meeting. But it's from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. And then where is the Annie's bookstore?
Well, I'm just glad that you got your name out there, and you're going to make these signings and have these interviews, and that's that. I'm very happy for you on that. I truly am.
Thank you.
And you'll still make time to come on the Bad for Your Health 3-year anniversary show next Sunday.
Of course.
Of course.
Of course. Can't forget the little people. I'm just kidding.
I know.
Yeah, you gave a look like what?
The little people. No, do what we can when we can.
Yeah, definitely, because I work full time, so I'm surprised I can do as much as I can.
Yeah, same here. It's tough.
Oh, for sure.
It's tough.
I can't. I guarantee you, it's in early September. Oh wait, is this it? Invitation
in early September, and Annie's bookstore in Webster, you will be signing copies of Limbs 1 and 2 and
what
do you got?
September 10th at 2 p.m.
For how long? An hour? 2?
Just for that I will have to ask. I'm not quite sure how long they last for, but it'll be cool because apparently they get a lot of exposure and people come out to check out the books and stuff.
Well, it's a great bookstore.
For sure. I was hoping to have my other books out by then, but no such luck.
I understand.
They're already done. The publishing company is kind of having a influx of other books. So
nice.
Yeah.
Well, Brian, I appreciate you having me on as your first guest, I think, on Splatter Chat Podcast. Chat Splat Podcast.
Chat Splat. Yeah.
Chat Splat. I like that. I'm going to part ways now. I got to get going. Best of luck going forward with this channel, and we'll see you next week, hopefully, for the 3-year anniversary of Bad for Your Health Entertainment. If anyone wants to follow, like, comment, subscribe to Bad for Your Health, you can check it out on YouTube. YouTube didn't strike gold for me. I know I got a few good videos on there, but check it out on Facebook and YouTube. That's all I can say. Brian, always a pleasure. Are you going to keep going, or are you wrapping up?
I'm going to end it here. I'm going to end it here. I'm just going to say that I'm going to leave the links to his Facebook Bad for Your Health page and YouTube Bad for Your Health page in the description below. Check it out. Also, stay tuned with this channel. I'm going to be doing a lot more stuff. And as always, you forgot.
Subscribe.
There you go.
I didn't forget. I slipped for a second on that. Subscribe.
All right. Have a good night, everyone.
Take it easy, Brian.